Hello, hello. Welcome to Wellness Astrology. I am your astro coach, Sarah Waggle here. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy weekend. The moon's in Libra this weekend after that blood moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. So happy eclipse hangover. um, so Libra is balance, it's justice, it's judgment, it's coming with Mercury stationing retrograde. So now we're adding a Mercury retrograde along with the Venus retrograde, both in Aries. They'll follow each other, kind of hold hands going back into Pisces here. And we are in the eclipse portal, meaning that we had the eclipse on the overnight hours 13th and 14th, and we will have a solar eclipse in a couple of weeks here in Aries. And so this energy that we're in right now, we're going to be in for a long while. So buckle up, buttercups. It ain't going to be a fun, easy ride. And for some people, it is a fun, easy ride, right? Like I know a lot of people who are thriving and doing really well through this, and some people who are in massive breakdown and moving through a lot of things. And so, do take care of your health. I did get a new crystal. This is, I can't remember the name of it, but it is like an EMF protection crystal. And so as we have Jupiter in Gemini, and then eventually this year we will have Uranus move into Gemini. I had been wanting something to protect myself from electromagnetic frequencies. And so I was gifted this by a very generous man that I met at Metaphysics or Crystals shop. So if you want to protect yourself from EMFs, if you use electronic devices a lot, computers, anything connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, things like that, or even if you're just like in I happen to be in an apartment building where, everybody's got their own Wi-Fi network. And so, we can be overstimulated, overwhelmed, have some anxiety issues, things like that around EMFs. And so good idea to protect your energy field from EMFs or electromagnetic frequencies. So if you want something to protect you, you can go to a metaphysics shop and ask someone if they have EMF protection crystals. You can get stickers for your devices, things like that that can protect your energy field from EMFs. So, or you can do some research. I can't remember what this crystal is called. Black tourmaline is also a good one for protection, but this one's actually better, whatever it's called. I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's a really weird name. But anyway, you can like search out on the internet EMF protection stuff, and things like unplugging your Wi-Fi at night while you're sleeping might help, things like that. So if you're noticing that you're like a little bit over, like last weekend, I was just like, I can't be in the house. I literally could not be in the house when I was house sitting. And I couldn't be inside. Like I needed to be outside. So very likely you could just need to go outside and get some fresh air, get some sunshine, get in the grass, get amongst the trees and things like that. But maybe if you have to be inside because you have to work, get something that you can wear on your person to protect you. So anyway, long dissertation for that little piece of information, but that's kind of important. Because taking care of yourself is important. Protecting yourself is important. Setting boundaries, we've got a lot of Pisces energy. So boundaries are, Pisces has none. But remember that we have Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. So while Neptune is like no boundaries, Saturn is all for boundaries. And so we've got the two ends of the spectrum going on there. But as we move through this weekend, be proactive about communication, about planning for travel, and things like that, potentially financial things, as we have now Mercury and Venus in retrograde in Aries. So Mercury rules communication. It rules our thinking, it rules travel, and then we have Venus that rules relationships and finances. And so with a moon in Libra, which is ruled by Venus, And so Venus being in retrograde, so this moon in Libra, may not be as balanced as it normally is, because Venus is not only in retrograde but in her detriment. So but it also could be that you say the damn thing that needs to be said and have some massive confrontational conversation. Just be aware that Mercury being in retrograde now could, miscommunications, misfires, things like that. And so, yeah. What else do I need to say about this? We have one hell of a week coming up ahead. So if you have the opportunity to chillax this weekend, probably a good plan. There's a lot going on geopolitically. I'm completely out of the loop on it. I've just been in my own little world lately, reading a lot of books, getting a lot of stuff done, dealing with some personal stuff, dealing with some life business, things like that. And so, yeah. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. What else do I need to talk about? That's kind of it. I mean, there's a lot coming up this week, because we are building up to the sun in Pisces conjuncting the North Node and then conjuncting Neptune later on towards the middle of next week. So not during this weekend. So enjoy this weekend. I'm not going to say it's going to be calm because we're in the eclipse portal. And we have planets in retrograde, personal planets in retrograde. Mars is still in Cancer, not in his happy place. And so, we've still got a lot of things that are very out of balance, and out of being in favorable places. So I'm not going to say that it's going to be a easy weekend, but I am saying that it's kind of easier compared to what's coming the rest of the week. I feel like some people need to make some choices. We've got a lot of Pisces energy, and it's all stacked in the final decan of Pisces, which is kind of where we are in the sun, in the sun's transit of the zodiac. We're in that last week of Pisces season. And so those last 6 degrees or so, this is where all that energy is concentrated, is between 24 Pisces and 29 Pisces, where we've got Saturn, the North Node, and Neptune, and now the sun's going to come through and, conjunct all of that. And so we've got a lot ending. And this is like big picture stuff. This is like subconscious stuff. This is, like parts of yourself that you need to be done with, your victim mentality. Remember, we're coming into a really potent Aries season. So, like, whatever you're being victim to needs to stop, right? And I get it. There's things out there that are out of our control. And there's going to continue to be, less and less in our control as we move forward throughout the rest of 2025. But, it's kind of one of those, like, whatever circumstance or whatever that you are being victim to, you're going to need to decide what you're fighting for. And what do you actually want? And do you have the gall? Do you have the balls? Do you have the boobs to do what you want, to pursue your passion? As we move into the early part of this week, it's going to be about your passion, and what you're passionate about and what you actually enjoy doing. And do you have the balls and the boobs to pursue it and to go after it? And I don't think a lot of people do, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people are so victim. I remember thinking this when I was going through my healing journey. And I actually attended ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. I did not do the 12-step program, but I did go to a handful of meetings for ACA. And one of the things that I learned while I was in there, and I mean, people kept telling me I was a victim. I was a victim. And I was like, what the fuck? How am I even a victim? I'm not a victim. And I can't remember what somebody said in the meeting, but what I got from it was, damn, I'm so victim. I didn't realize how victim I was to being a victim, right? We don't realize how victim we are until it's pointed out to us. And being a victim to something is meaning that there is something that has a chokehold on you. Well, how can I explain this a little bit more effectively? Kind of like, how do you expect me to move on when I've just been through XYZ? How do you expect me to move on when as a kid I was treated such and such a way? How do you expect me to step into my power or be powerful or be creative or pursue my passions when as a child I was not encouraged to do so? And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are watching my channel, because I don't put my channel out there for kids, meaning you've got to probably be, what is it, 18 or 21 to watch my channel. But most of my audience is in their 30s, 40s, and beyond. If you're in your 30s and your 40s and you're beyond, and you're still blaming your childhood for why you're not doing things that make you happy, time to grow up and get over it. That sounds really harsh. I don't like being the harsh one, but I feel like sometimes we need a little tough love. If you need help, go back and watch my You Are a Leader, Act Like One series. But I also have it that a lot of people who watch my content have done a lot of healing work, are doing a lot of healing work, and are pursuing the things that make them happy and bring them joy, and are as lost in the ocean of the ocean as I am. Like, I'm not lost, but like, okay, what the fuck is next here? But that being said, I continue to take inspired actions every day, every week. I continue to reach out and ask questions of, kind of knowing what I want to pursue and how I want to move forward and whatnot. I continue to take steps all the time to have things go that direction. And that could be as simple as like, updating my blog, which I have not done in a few weeks. That does not mean that the blog is done. It just means I haven't done it in a couple of weeks. Or it could be like, making phone calls to find out about how I need to move forward on a project or move forward on a plan or whatever. And so I don't know where I was going with that. But the point is that as we get closer to Aries, which is coming up here in just a few days, that whole, victim mentality is gonna get a hard reality check. And the hardest reality check will probably come in May when Saturn moves into Aries. But it's just something to kind of start preparing yourself for now, that if you're blaming anything, something, everything for why or what has you stuck, this is the year to grow a pair, whether it's balls or boobs, and get after it. So, magic in your life can happen, sure. And, but sometimes we have to, God answers prayers as we take action towards what we want. I am definitely not a person who believes pray, 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 and sit on my ass and do nothing about it. No, I don't think God works that way. And what I have found in my experience is the more I pray about it and the more I take inspired action every day, even if it's the simplest, tiniest action, doors open up. Things open up for me to continue to pursue whatever it is I'm trying to pursue. So it's my responsibility to take teeny tiny actions and allow God to see that I'm going towards it, and to let the doors open or let the doors slam because it's not the right direction, or it's the not now, or hold on a second, we got to have you do something else first, right? Kind of like the end of 2023 when I got back out on the road and was nomading and house sitting and whatnot. And, then it was like by the end of that year, I got grounded again and, got my apartment and all of those things, because God was just like, yeah, okay, no, not yet. Hold on. I need you to sit still for a minute. So, and sitting still has been good for me, albeit cumbersome, but it has been good for me. I've learned a lot. I've needed to learn a lot, needed to move through some of the stuff I've moved through. But I'm definitely anxious to get to a different location where I can have a little bit more freedom and flexibility to move about. So I continue to take action towards making my moves, and then I let God open doors for me. All right, we got the Five of Earth. Five of Earth, and this is fears surrounding money, the wisdom to the wisdom to accept help from others, and then uncertain. Oh my goodness, my camera is not wanting to focus. Uncertain self-employment. Dude, did my thing update or something? The hell, it's like focusing all over the place. Mercury retrograde. um, okay, fears around money. Yes, because we are moving through a lot of financial stuff in the world. Because Uranus is months away from going into Gemini. That like many other astrologers have mentioned that that is going to bring a financial change in the money system. I've mentioned it many times. If you're following any other astrologers and they're not talking about money things and money things changing, it's going to be happening. But I think a lot of people have fears around money and things like that, just due to high cost of everything, right? But and like if you receive benefits, right? I'll speak into that. I personally have contemplated this since I started learning about astrology and started learning about the financial systems changing in this decade. So here's what I'm going to say for those of you who are on benefits. If you are legit disabled, if you are legit in some such a way that you are receiving benefits, I'm pretty convinced that benefits are not going to go away, but there will be adjustments and changes. And one thing I feel like is everyone, I'm personally of the opinion that everyone can be employed and contribute to the community, contribute to society. I'm of that opinion. And it could come down, I feel like it could come down the pipeline that if you need to relocate to be employed, that's what you're going to be asked to do or expected to do, is to relocate in order to be employed, to earn money or to earn some way of like an energetic exchange. Like maybe you are a live-in nanny or a live-in housekeeper, and in exchange for your room and board, it's kind of like my house sitting thing, right? Like I do house sitting, I don't get paid to do house sitting, but it's an energetic exchange. Most of the ones that I've done, I have done some paid sits over the years, but for the most part, most of the sits that I have done have been unpaid. But what happens is that I get to stay in their house and be in their community, right? So I can go like, anywhere, so I can go somewhere and be in the community and have that trip in exchange for looking after their house, making their house look live, stayed in, and taking care of their animals, right? So like, even the one I just did, like I didn't get paid for it, but I had access to an area that I don't usually have access to, right? So, and they did buy me groceries and things like that, but that's not always the case, and it kind of just depends on the sit and whatnot. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, so even if you are not working to earn money, like an income, but you are working and therefore getting something in exchange, like maybe somebody has you help them with editing or transcription, and in exchange they buy you some clothes or give you a gift card or help you with transit or whatever it is. So I feel like those things could be, as we move forward, could be a thing, but I do feel like it could come down the pipeline that for people who are on benefits to have some way of working and not necessarily being financially earning money doing it, but just working in exchange for blah 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 blah, right? A lot of people who have been had their benefits yanked out from underneath them are basically taking advantage of the system, and they got caught. because they were earning butt tons of money on social media and they weren't reporting it to the powers that be. So, yeah, let's see what's up with the self-care deck. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm a little tardy with this video because it's been a week. And I actually kind of took a good chunk of this last week off because I needed it. All right, we got number 27, and this is hydrate. Well, yeah, hydrate, 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 and not just water, but make sure you're getting electrolytes and things like that. Make sure that you have a supply of water and whatever you need to stay hydrated as we are in like stormy weather season. You know, make sure you have all of the things that you need to care for yourself and all of that. So, hydration, and especially since we have all of this Pisces energy, um, you know, having good hydration, good idea, good plan. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you on the next video. Bye.